Good afternoon. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today I have on my channel Leila Hart, an author of Love on the Run and other books. Good afternoon, Leila. How you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Fine. Okay, tell us a little about yourself.
All right. Well, I am from Louisiana. I currently live in Arkansas. I'm the mom of three boys. I also have a husband. I'm also a licensed teacher, and I love books. I love characters um, and writing.
Okay, what is your genre?
Right now, romance. Um, I love Black love and Black love stories.
Mhm.
I think that people have been sleeping on Black love. I just think that Black love is beautiful.
Mhm. Mhm. How did publishing your first book change your process of writing?
Um, I think that it made me stop and maybe organize a little better. I think that after this book was published, I had to stop and think about it's not just me following the story, there are readers following the story. And I want to make sure that they don't get confused by who's thinking or who's saying what. So I think just organizing a little bit better, thinking about dialogue tags a little bit more, making sure that the book is a little bit easier to read.
Mhm. What was an early experience where you learned that language had power?
I would have to say in college, I was on the debate team.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the debate team, and I think with the debate team and I did prose. And when I became those different characters and embodied them in their story,
Mm-hmm.
it made me feel like words can take you anywhere. No matter if you're a person that's, a world traveler or not, words can take you any place you want to be.
Yes.
And they can uplift you. They can change your thought process. Words are just embody so much knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and just having that knowledge is very powerful.
Okay. Now you want to talk about your book?
Yes, I would love to talk about my book. This book, um, and those I would love for people to get it. It is available on Amazon in paperback, and it's on available on Kindle and on KU, so Kindle Unlimited. The heroine in the story is Sage Patterson,
Mm-hmm.
and she has had bouts with love that have just not gone in her favor. In the beginning of the story, we see that Sage is just had a traumatizing situation with a relationship, and throughout the book we see her evolve as she learns to soften up and love again, and she meets Raj Blaine. um, Raj is also having a difficult time with relationships. He's been betrayed by friends with his relationships, and so his thing is, hey, I don't think, you know, that's not what a woman is meant for, not a relationship. So he's also having to learn some things. But Sage does let him get away with quite a bit in the story. And I spoke to someone about this, one of my best friends who's an author who's has some great work. I don't want to drop her name, but she came to me. She said, "Hey, he got away with a lot." And I said, "I know, but this could be some other woman's story.
Mm-hmm.
Someone can relate to this, because sometimes in relationships, we kind of do that. We kind of let things slide. We kind of let things go by. So I wanted this to feel as realistic as possible. And then I know that there are some women that will be like, I'm not taking this, And there are some stories that are coming that those women, they aren't going to take, you know, just whatever a man is dishing out. So that's Love on the Run. And it is a novella. It does contain mature themes. But I would love for people to get it and find out if Raj and Sage can let go of things and travel through this journey and find love again.
Okay. What inspired you to write this book?
When I wrote this book, I think I just thought about love is different for everybody. And what may be normal to some people may be totally off the wall and totally crazy for other people, and they can't see themselves going through that situation. And I think for Sage's experience, I think hurt, because sometimes love doesn't feel good.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What's
Yeah.
what surprised you the most when writing this book?
That I finished it. um, because I have pieces that I've written and
Mm-hmm.
they're here. Um, they're here, and they will have a time and a place to be released, I feel like. But I just felt like sometimes it's hard to get to the end, and what exactly is this the end? And you know, this is putting the pin in it and saying, okay, this is it, this is their story, it has reached the finale.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it's hard to determine you know, what the end is. So I think just getting it where I felt like, okay, this is finished, and feeling good about it's reached the finish line. That was, I think, a big feat.
Mm-hmm. What's the best way to market your books?
I would have to say social media. Also, taking advantage of Kindle, being part of KU, and taking advantage of the author giveaways.
Mm-hmm.
And I have offered 2 days, I think, last month, 2 days of giveaways for the book, especially with everything that's going on with coronavirus. People are at home, but we want to hear about more than what's going on in the news and just the tragedy of the virus and how it's continuing to go on. So I feel like social media, people want to hear about good stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you read the reviews, and how do you deal with good ones and bad ones?
I have read the reviews. Good ones, I think that I just, you know, use that as motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And bad ones are used as motivation as well. Um, but also realistically, everything isn't for everyone. So
Yeah.
everyone won't like everything. And again, I had to be reminded of that, because I think when you see a review that is, you know, someone's like, it just wasn't my cup of tea. Well, that's honest, you know. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's just reality.
How does your family support you as an author?
Um, well, they have purchased the book. Um, and it's funny because, you know, they have access to get it free, and they would not download it when it's free. They want to pay for it. They are also, I also use some family members as beta readers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're quite helpful in that sense.
Okay. How do you select your characters?
Um, it's it just if it just comes to me, if I'm driving down the road and I'm inspired by something that just happened at Starbucks, or um maybe something that we may have been out to eat or somewhere, and there may have been something going on, and you're kind of looking, and it just starts, the hamster gets on the wheel, and you're like, oh, and so you have to get my phone, and I'm jotting that down in my notes.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, a character may be created, or maybe a combination of all of these things happening that creates a character.
What projects are you working on right now?
I am working on a project now called Misconceptions. And it's a romance story, and it should be out this month. Um, the main character, or the heroine, Lark, um, she thinks she understands and knows what her love story is, and that it is
Mm-hmm.
where it is, and she is, almost to her finish line, and then life happens.
Mm-hmm.
Life happens as it always does, and it may be a pleasant or unpleasant surprise. Um, and then she's caught in a situation where um, she may go back to what she's known despite the ups and downs, or she may choose to take a new path for love. This book is going to be it may be a novella, but it will be a series. It's will be a sister series. So Lark is one sister who the first book, Misconceptions, will be about, and Misapprehensions will be book 2, and it's about Lark's sister, Kiara. And Kiara has a totally different view of love and what monogamy and commitment means.
Okay. How, where do you get your cover inspirations from?
Um, I have to wait until the book is about a quarter or more of the way completed,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I want the cover to feel, yeah, when people, after they read it and they go back and look at the cover, I want them to be like, you know what, that was that character. So the characters and the way they evolve become the inspiration for the book covers.
What do you do when you're not writing?
Um, with my kids, spending time with my kids and my family. I'm a homebody, so I don't get out a whole lot. But just spending time with my family, that matters the most, especially in these tumultuous times that we're
Mm-hmm.
having.
Mm-hmm. What do you think makes a good story?
Um, I think a good story is made when people can relate to it. If they can, when they're reading it or they're hearing it, if they can place themselves in the character's shoes and the shoes fit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How long on average does it take you to write a book?
Oh, uh, it depends, because sometimes you have to come back to a project. Sometimes you have to sit it down, and writer's block, or there's no inspiration for that story, and you have to come back to it. So um I don't know, I would say Love on the Run took about a month. um but like I said, I've had it a great long time. It just took me a long time to be brave enough to go through the process of publishing and putting it out for the world to see it and hear it. So about a month for a novella, which it probably should take less time, but just it depends on inspiration.
Yes. What do you, um, how do you balance the demands of writing with other responsibilities?
That is difficult. You just have to itch out a little time, um, whether it's saying I'm going to do 15 minutes a day or 20 minutes a week. You have to etch out the time for it. And that's what's kind of hard, because when you say this is the time I'm going to do it, then it may not be a time that you're feeling quite inspired. But if you look back over a 2-week period and say, hey, I want to have this accomplished, and you look back over that 2-week period and say, oh, I accomplished a third of that or a fourth of, at least having some sense of accomplishment with it. I think that's what helps with the balance and getting it done.
Okay. What has been your greatest accomplishment thus far?
Wow. I think thus far, my greatest accomplishment other than my family would have to be education, my education, because I'm actually working on a doctorate. So recently, I'm not a doctoral student. Now I'm a doctoral candidate. And my proposal, or excuse me, not my proposal, my prospectus was approved. So my topic has been approved, and it's a great feat, just getting it done and meeting all the requirements and going through the phases of making adjustments and corrections and additions. So that I would say that would be it.
Okay. How can readers find you?
Readers can find me on Facebook, author Leila Hart, on Twitter as Leila E. Hart, and on Instagram as Leila E. Hart.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
Also, there's a website, LeilaHartWrites.com or LeilaEHartWrites.com. And keep reading.
All right. Thank you for coming in today, Leila. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right. You heard it here, and all minds are clear. Happy reading. Bye, y'all.